are going to start in wide knee child's pose, or balasana. So you come onto your knees, onto your knee pad. You take your knees out to the width of your mat and bring your two big toes to touch. Sitting back onto your heels. Now the pillow that I've asked you to grab is optional. Sometimes when you go to the front of your feet, it can feel a little bit icky. So you can either place your pillow underneath the front of your feet, or you can place the pillow underneath the butt. And then you're going to lower the torso, but the space between your legs allows your torso to come forward. Now another option here, we want to drop the forehead onto the mat, but if that's too far down, you can place a block underneath your forehead, or you can place two blocks underneath your forehead. So you have options. So you're sitting back on your heels. Your arms are outstretched, but you don't have to lift the elbows right off the bat. You can have the elbows soft so that you are keeping it somewhat of a passive stretch. Close your eyes, and then this allows you to come away from the external stimulations and focus on your breath. Surrendering to the floor, allowing your body just to be. We're not having to hold and activate any particular pose yet. So although your elbows are soft, you can still spread out your hands, spread out your fingers, so that you are starting to ask your hands to work, engage. And I want you to focus on your breath, flowing in through your nose and out through your nose. Our breath in pranayama is, our breath in yoga practice is called pranayama. Prana meaning life force, and yama meaning extension, extending your life force. The breathing in and out through your nose is our natural breath. So I want you to try to extend your natural breath. And if it assists to extend, perhaps count your breath. So count your breath in and count your breath out. So you want to try the count to be 4, 5, or even 6 coming in and the same going out. So balasana, child's pose, is considered a resting pose. And this is a pose that anyone can take at any point throughout the class. If anything gets too much and you just need to take a little time out, this is the pose. So you're still stretching your hamstrings and your glutes, the side of your torso, your arms, but you're just taking a little reset. From here, we're going to start to walk the hands a little bit further forward to the front of your mat. And with asking your hands to walk a little bit more forward, perhaps you can try lifting your elbows away from the floor. Pressing your hands even more into the mat so that you are now working into the armpits, into the shoulders, and into the sides of your torso. Press your hands and spread your hands wide so the backs of your knuckles are being pressed into the mat. Good. Slow and steady breathing. And then just roll your forehead from side to side. Just your forehead. So as if you're massaging your fine lines. That's it. One more breath. Inhale. And on the exhale, come back to center. Lift your head away from the block or the floor. And if you have been using a block, just move it to one side. And then rock your body up. Now your hands are going to be beyond your shoulders, that's okay. So we're just going to rock the torso forward and rock the torso back. Rock the torso, keep the hands spread, and rock the torso back. Now in the next one, we're going to rock the torso forward, and at that stage, we're going to now take the knees in so that the knees are in line with our hips, and tuck the toes under. So if you have a pillow underneath, and just kick your pillow out to the side, tuck the toes, both feet under, and again, rock the body back. Rock the body. So now we're stretching our toes. Again, this may feel icky because we're not used to stretching our toes, but it's a lovely way of wakening up the toes, wakening up the soles of the feet. Although it may not feel lovely. It may feel icky. A couple more times, just rocking forward and back. And then last one, we're going to sit back onto our heels with the toes tucked under. Push your mat away towards the front of the studio. So you're using your hands, and now you're even deeper into the stretch of the toes. Take a breath in, and on the exhale, walk your hands up towards your knees, and then come onto your heels with the toes tucked under. So we're not going to even think about the toes, we're going to roll our shoulders for 3, for 2, for 1. And then we're going to extend the arms out in line, spread in our hands, clench the fist, open, close, open, close. Lift, and now we're working into the wrists. Click, click, and then circle. Good. Now take your hands and place them on your shoulders. Open your chest, bring in your elbows back, and then bring your elbows forward, rounding your upper back. Open the chest, bring your heart forward, and then close. 2 more. Open, close, open, close. Inhale, reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling. Interlace your hands. Don't think about your toes. Rotate your palms up to the ceiling. Inhale, and on the exhale, release. Coming forward onto your hands and knees. Untuck your toes and give them a little padding out, just like that. I'd rather have a tantrum. Okay, good. Now we're on our hands and knees. We're going to work into the spine. Rocking the tailbone up, lifting the head, lifting the tailbone for our cat-cow. Rounding the spine. So tuck in the tailbone. We worked on this last week. Chin into the chest. Push the front of the heart up to the ceiling. And then rock the heart down to the floor. Lifting the tailbone, lifting the head. Arms stay straight. Have a quick peek, make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, hip distance apart. Keep going with the spine. So we're working through each vertebrae. Try not to bend the arms, keep the arms. So Laura, can I get you just to place a micro bend in these elbows? And the reason being is you have hypermobility. I'm not sure if I've said that to you before, but you just need to keep a wee bend in them. Okay, straighten those arms there, Chrissy. Keep those arms straight. So you're working just the spine. Just the spine. So head up, head up, head up, head up. Drop this part. Yes, good. That's it. Shoulders away from the ears. And then on the exhale, push into my hand. Push, 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 push. Chin in, chin in, chin in. Tailbone in. Tuck, 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 tuck. Good. And once again, drop down, drop down, drop down. Head up, head up. Good. Keep going. With your breath. So inhale as you lift the head on the tailbone. And on the exhale, round. Clear your lungs on the exhale. And then fill up your lungs. Keep the arms straight there, Jane. Straight, that's it. So you're strengthening the arms in cat-cow and creating space in your vertebrae. Good. Try not to bend the elbows or Magella. Try just to keep those arms straight. One more time. Good. And then coming back to center, just give the tree shot now. Shake there from side to side, just easing out the hips. 3, 2, 1. Coming back to center, we're going to now take the wrist once again beyond our shoulders, and we're going to rock our body forward into what we call a half plank. Now, quick check of the plank position. We don't want to sink these hips. We don't want to impinge on our lower back. We want to engage our core, draw the navel in, push the floor away with our hands, shoulders away from the ears, activating your center, crown of the head in line with your tailbone. And perhaps this is enough, you stay here. If you want that a little bit more, you tuck the toes of both feet under, lift the knees away from the floor. Now you lift the knees, everything is in line. So think of a plank of wood, from your shoulders to your hips to your ankles, one long line, no lifting of the hips. Draw the navel in. Now, if you tend to dip into the lumbar spine, tuck in your tailbone, tuck, 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 tuck. So you're tucking your tailbone down towards your belly button, that's it. Do you lower the hips? Lower the hips. Just the hips. Keep the legs straight. Yes, that's it. 2 more breaths. Keep looking down at the space between your hands so the crown of the head's in line with your tailbone. Lift those knees, squeeze those thighs. Tuck, tuck, tuck. 1 more breath. Inhale. Beautiful, Siobhan. And on the exhale, lower the knees. Lower the knees. Good. Now we're going to come away. Our hands come away from the floor. Up onto kneeling position. Hands onto your waist. I'm going to turn around for this. We're going to take the right leg out to the right And grab your 2 blocks and place your 2 blocks underneath so that it's underneath your left hand. Okay? Oh yeah, actually that's a good idea. Either if you're facing me, you can alternate, so like one comes more forward, one goes more back. I think that might be easier just for, yeah, you go back, that's it. And if you come forward and then you turn Gregory to face me, and then you go back directly, and then you come forward more, okay? So look, so if you turn around this way, okay. So that if your foot goes over to here, that's it, good. So the whole of the foot must be onto the floor. It's just so that it's not confusing when I give the instructions. Okay. Our blocks are underneath, so when we lower our left hand down to the floor, the blocks are there, bringing the floor to you. This right arm is going to come up and overhead. Now what we don't want to happen in this side modified plank is to stick out the tush. We want to gently bring the pelvis forward, tucking in the tailbone, pushing the right foot into the mat. The top arm is up and over the head. Rotate your gaze, look up towards your palm. Good. Palm faces down, palm faces down. Good. Lift the knee, squeeze the thigh muscle to the thigh bone in the right leg. Good. The whole of the right foot, press it into the floor or the mat. Breathe in. And on the exhale, push the floor away with your left hand, come back up to center. Good. The right hand dips down, not onto the knee, either the thigh or towards the calf. And then the left hand rotates round, stretches over to the right. Still that right foot pressing into the floor. Good, good, good. So now we're feeling a stretch along the left side of our ribs, armpit, waist. Good. One more breath. Inhale. And on the exhale, slowly come up to center. We're going to take a block away. So now we have to go further. However, if it's too low for you, you keep the block on it, okay? It's not essential. Inhale. And on the exhale, rotate down to the left, right arm up and over. Pelvis, tuck it under and forward, looking up towards your palm. Inhale. And on the exhale, back to center. Inhale, up and over. Inhale, exhale, back to center. Now you can take a block away or not, okay? It's totally up to you. Going all the way down to the floor. Inhale, left hand to the floor, or blocks, right hand up. Now this time, this right foot, you can keep it on the floor or lift the right leg away. And pause. For 3, for 2, for 1. Place the right foot back down, push the floor away, back to center, inhale, and on the exhale, up and over. Take an inhale, and on the exhale, back to center. Good. Change sides. So the right knee comes down, left leg goes out. Grab your blocks, start with the 2 blocks, just so that we can gauge how we feel. We don't have to take blocks away at all. We can keep it all with the 2. Good. So you want the blocks when you dip over so that your wrist is right underneath your shoulder. It shouldn't be beyond your shoulder like this. Okay? Start at the center. Are you okay? Yeah, it's just the knee, isn't it? Okay. So you take this version here. Okay? So you're going to bring your left knee to a 90-degree angle and at a 90-degree angle stance so that your ankle's underneath your knee, and then at a 45-degree angle. So just, can I adjust you? So bring these hips to square. So you're going to bring back because you're going to knock into Gregory there. Would you mind if you turn around so that you're facing the front so that everybody's the same way? Okay. Okay. So right knee down. So I want your hips to face the front, okay? And then this foot to be underneath. So that's a 90-degree angle and then a 45-degree angle, okay? See the hips. How does that make you feel now? Good. Okay, back to center. Draw the navel in so you're engaged in your center. Think of your midline, your belly button, your heart, your chin, all the way to the crown of your head. So that's your midline, okay? So it's zipped up through your center. And then you're going to dip over to the right. Left hand rotates round and over the head. Draw the navel in, tuck in the tailbone. Rotate your gaze, look up at your palm. Or not, you can keep looking forward. Draw it in, hold it here, take a breath. And on the exhale, back to center. All the way over to the other side. Right hand up and over. Good. So this is preparing, if you want to hold there, just till I show you, for a side plank, which is called Vashisthasana. Okay, preparing the body for this. Inhale, and on the exhale, back to center. You can choose to take one block away or no blocks away for the next round. Inhale, and on the exhale, right hand to the block or floor, or 2 blocks, overhead. Rotate your gaze, look up at your palm. Inhale, and on the exhale, back to center. Inhale, and on the exhale, up and over. Work that left foot, press the whole of the foot into the mat so you're not coming onto the inside edge. Inhale, back to center, exhale, hold. Either take the block away or keep where you are. Rock, inhale, exhale, overhead. Now, option here is keep that left foot onto the mat or lift it away from the floor and pulse. For 3, for 2, for 1. Squeeze in the left glute, push the floor away with the right hand, back to center. Inhale, exhale, up and over. Inhale, exhale, back to center. Take the left knee in, come down onto your hands and knees, and then shake out the tush. That was also a lot of work for the glutes. Good. Coming back to center. We're going to take the right leg out behind. Draw the navel in a lock. Tuck in the tailbone. Start to push the front of your heart to the back of your heart. And then take your right leg away. We're going to lift the hips up towards the ceiling and bend both knees. Heels are lifted, knees are bent. Now if you find that the feet are far too far away, you can walk the feet in a little bit closer, creating that inverted V. So this is downward dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. So your wrists are beyond your shoulders, your hips are your highest point. You're using your hands, you're a wee bit too far there, James, come up a wee bit. That's it. That's it, now bend your knees. Right down there, that's it. Bend your knees. That's it. So we're looking for a nice elongated spine here. So from the crown of the head all the way to the tailbone is one long line. I want you to think into your front ribs and see your organs behind those ribs. I want you to protect those organs, so hug those ribs in. Draw the ribs in, draw the navel in. Keep lifting the tailbone up to the ceiling. One more breath, inhale. And on the exhale, lower the knees to the mat. Good. Take the knees out wide into your wide knee child's pose. And then sit back onto your heels. Sit back onto your heels, lower your forehead, so wide knee child's pose. That's it. So sometimes when we do downward dog, particularly our first downward dog, all the blood rushes to the head. And then when we lift our head straight after doing downward dog, we might get dizzy. One more breath, inhale. And on the exhale, lift your head away from the floor. Walk your hands towards your knees. Bring your knees in line with your hips. Come up to your knees and then step up onto your feet. Step up onto your feet. So move your props away from your mat so you don't get in your way. And then I want you to come to the front of your mat. Come to the front of your mat. Actually, grab your 2 blocks, make sure they're at the front of your mat, either side. We'll be leaving them in a minute. Good. So when you come to your standing poses, so all this stuff we did on the floor is all about warming up the body, all the different parts of the body. So when we come to the standing poses, the standing part of the class, you always come to the front of your mat, okay? Always start in front of your mat. Then look down if you're not familiar with your position of your feet. Look down and check that your toes are in line with your heels and your feet are hip distance apart. Okay, so this is called Tadasana. Now, just to go through the different parts of Tadasana, firstly, your feet. So your feet have 4 corners. the inner ball, the outer ball, the inner heel, and the outer heel. So those 4 parts of your feet, you should be able to feel it. Press them into the mat by lifting your knees, squeezing your thigh muscles to your thigh bone, draw the navel in, tuck in the tailbone ever so slightly, so it's tucked in and under. Lift out of your hips, so you're creating space between your hips and your ribs. Lift your heart, relax your shoulders, and the crown of the head to the ceiling. So this is called mountain pose, Tadasana. Tadasana. So it's an active pose, the legs are working crazy, you're squeezing the glutes a little, you're lifting out of your hips, so you have to engage your center. Good, so it's a strong pose. Now from here, we're going to rotate the palms away from each other, turn the palms away. So now from doing that, so rotate the palms in, and then rotate the palms out. So you see what's happening with the shoulders, yeah? So they're closing the shoulders in, and you're opening the shoulders, spreading the chest open. Okay, one more time. Close, roll the shoulders forward, and then by turning your palms, opening them wide, you've opened up your chest. Okay, now we're going to float the arms up, come into extended mountain, Urdhva Hastasana. So the hands come together and you look up at your thumbs. So it's somewhat of a slight back bend, ever so slight, okay? When we start to delve deeper into our Surya Namaskar, we'll bend even more to look up towards our thumbs. Now from here, we're going to take the palms apart, we're going to turn the palms away as if we're pushing water out of our way, and we're going to dive forward. Dive forward with a straight spine, the arms open wide, legs are straight, and then once we feel too much with the legs straight, we bend our knees and we fold, melt the belly onto the thighs, fold over to bent legs, drop the head, and then come up halfway. Straighten the legs, straighten the spine, hands come to the shins. Just, the only reason they come to the shins is for placement rather than having them dangling here. So just for placement, I want you to turn around and look at your reflection in the window and just check to see if your spine is straight. Now, if you find that there is a certain amount of rounding in the spine, there's 2 parts to that, okay? If the upper part is rounded, I want you to think into your heart. I want you to bring the back of your heart down towards the front of your heart by lifting your shoulders away. Lift your shoulders away. Bring the front of your heart down to the floor. If it's the lower part of your back that is rounded, I want you to draw the navel in a lot and try if you can to come out of the hips to straighten out the lower back. Also, you can lift up the tailbone. So perhaps the tailbone is too tucked in. You can untuck the tailbone to lengthen the tailbone back in the opposite direction of your head. Okay, does that make sense, everyone? Anybody confused about anything I've said? Okay, good. So if you can't reach your shins, you can also place your hand on your thighs. Never ever do we place our hands on our knees. Never ever ever. Never place our hands on our knees. Not the knees. Not the knees. Just the shins. So the fingertips come to the shins or the hands come to the thighs. Now from the half lift, you bend the knees again, you melt the belly back onto the thighs, forward fold, which is called Uttanasana. And then from here, we're going to come up the way we went down. We're going to straighten the legs, straighten the spine, open the arms out wide, reach all the way up to the heavens, hands come together, and then we come down through our midline. Okay, so that's Surya Namaskar arms. We're going to do that process again a little bit faster. Inhale, reach up, look up at the thumbs. Exhale, swan dive. Forward fold, bend the knees to reach the floor. Inhale, half lift, hands to the shins or the thighs, straight spine, straight leg. Inhale, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, straight legs, straight spine, extended mountain. Exhale to your heart. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive, part the water. Inhale, half lift, straight spine, straight legs, shoulders away from the ears, heart comes down. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, extend the mountain, squeeze the tush, lift the knees, squeeze the thighs, hands come together. Exhale to your heart. Good. Take your arms just out in front of one another. Bend at the elbows. Bring the elbows and the palms together. We're going to take the right arm over the left. The men's going to find this particularly hard because of the bulk, but I'll show you a version in a second. And then you're going to wrap the right arm around the left and try to bring the palms together. Okay, so if you can't get that wrap, you can either, one, bring the backs of the hands towards one another. If that's even too much, you can't get the elbows on top of one another, you give yourself a hug. For now, okay? So this is called Garudasana. Garudasana arms. We're going to add the legs in a second, but I just want you to work the arms strong. We're going to take the pinky fingers away. Take them away. And then we're going to lift them up to the ceiling. Inhale, keep lifting the knees, squeezing the thighs. And on the exhale, take the elbows into the belly. Forward fold. Inhale, lift it up. Breathing in. Exhale, fold. Inhale back to center. Unravel the arms. Open out. This is called cactus or goalkeeper arms. So we're going to squeeze the shoulders back. Now we're going to do the process again on the other side. So straighten out the arms. Bend at the elbows. Bring the elbows and the palms together. This time the left goes over the right. Okay, one side you might find more tight than the other, or vice versa. And then you're going to wrap the arms like a pretzel around. If that's too much, the back of the hands, squeeze them together. So essentially what we're trying to do is spread the shoulder blades apart, creating space in the upper part of the body. Pinky fingers away, lift up on the inhale, and on the exhale, fold the elbows into the belly. Two more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. We're not coming down too far, just a little. Inhale, last one. And then back to center, unravel. Just give it a shake. Okay, so that's the arms. We're going to add the legs. Hands to your waist. We're going to bend both knees and take the weight over to the left foot. Take the right leg over the left. Now, full pose is where the right wraps around the left and the toes peek out behind the calf. Okay, now if you can't get them all the way around, squeeze on the cross. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Now if you can't even hold this, that's okay. You just bring your toes to the floor. Hold the balance, okay? Because we're going to add the arms as well. So, once again, bend at the knees. Take the weight over to the left foot and leg. Take the right leg over the left. Maybe here's enough, stay here. If you can squeeze the legs together and then start to feed that right foot around. Now the arms. Now if the legs is enough, then stay here. You don't have to add the arms. Take the arms out, bend, elbow forms together, right over left. Wrap it around. Take the pinky fingers away. Inhale, lift up. Oopsies. Inhale, lift up. And on the exhale, elbows to the belly. Slow, slow, slow. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Everything in. Inhale, lift up. And on the exhale, unravel. Unravel. Yeah? A little bit. A little bit. Not easy, definitely. Straight off the bat, it's not easy. Eagle arms, eagle legs, Garudasana. We're going to try the other side. And by all means, you can do the legs and forget about the arms, yeah? That might be enough. You'll get there. So bend both knees, bring the weight over to the right foot. Left leg comes up and across. Now, this leg might be more tight or less tight. Everybody's different. So try if you can. Feed the left foot behind. You can do it this morning, but not tonight. That's okay. And then the arms come out or keep them on your waist. Elbows. Bring them together. Left over right. Wrap it around. Pinky fingers away. Lift it up. Draw the navel in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And if the legs are crossed, just stay with them squeezed. Elbows in. Good. Inhale, squeeze. Lift, lift, lift. And on the exhale, unravel. Bring the feet together, legs together. Swoop up into Utkatasana, chair. We did this last week. So check your feet, check your knees. Bring them together. So the 2 feet become 1. Have a peek down. Make sure you can see your 10 toes. And we want to sit back in our comfy chair. Yoga 18 has some beautiful chairs in this studio. We want to sit back on them. Sit, 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 sit. Palms are facing one another, because it's all to do with the placement of the shoulders. And then we want to see our beautiful faces, so look up. If you can, try and reach those arms up. Utkatasana, the arms are extended to the ceiling. Lift, 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 lift. So we find length in our spine. Good, Chrissy. Good, good, good. Toes, toes, toes. If the toes are rotated, so are the knees. Toes, squeeze. Using your adductors, inner leg muscles. Good. Bring your hands to your waist. And then keep the knees bent and slide your right foot back, around 4 feet behind. Keep the left knee bent. Keep the left knee bent, hands onto your waist. Good. Now we're going to straighten up the torso. Straighten up the torso. Back leg is straight. So this is called crescent legs. Now, this is real weight track stance, okay? If your balance is not your friend, you can widen your stance by taking your heel, the front heel out, and then your toe. So it leaves it a wee bit more secure in your stance, okay? That's an option. We're going to bring our hands to our waist for this one because we're going to strengthen these legs, okay? So if you've come off your mat, come a wee bit more forward there, Magella. We want to stay on our mat because we want to not slip and slide. So for crescent legs, the front foot, the 4 corners is pressed into the mat, but the back foot, the heel is lifted. All 10 toes face the front of your mat. Shoulders are stacked above your hips. We lift the back knee and squeeze the leg like crazy to keep it straight. Because then we're going to bend the back knee. We're going to lift the back knee away from the floor. Keep that front knee bent. Straighten the back leg. 3 more. Bend and straighten. Bend. Again, you can take a wider stance by taking the front foot out. Bend and straighten. 1 more. Bend and straighten. Now, reach the arms up to the ceiling. This is full crescent pose. Front knee is bent, hips are square. And then we're going to swoop those arms back, lean forward with a heart. This is humble crescent, okay? Now, back heel is lifted. We want to try, if we can, to bring that back heel down to the floor and then lift it away. We're going to pulse that 4 more times. Lower, keep that foot knee bent, and lift. Lower and lift. 2 more. Lower, hence why we warmed up the toes. Lift. 1 more. Lower and lift. Bring your hands back to your waist. Lift the torso back to straight. And then step up with the back foot. I had a few sound effects during that one. So, yoga is not easy. I made so many people go, particularly my brother when I started my training, and he would have said, fuck, yoga, it's not hard, it's too easy. You do a lot of that breathing stuff and that's about it. Yeah, you know. Okay, so it's not easy, definitely, but what makes it slightly more easy is if you breathe through your nose, okay? Now, if you just try to tell yourself, nose is for breathing, mouth is for eating. So the nose breathing is essential because when you start to pant and, you know, it gets challenging, the brain goes through that negative process where you're like, oh my God, this is really hard. Oh my God, this is really hard. Okay, so you keep telling yourself that narrative, and then guess what? It's going to be really hard. Okay, so you breathe in through your nose and out through your nose. Focus, you're drifting. Focus on a spot. Just try and settle the mind. Then it will get somewhat, I hate to say the word easier because it's not easy, but just a little bit more gentler on yourself than all that, oh my God, oh my God, okay? Because I can hear the noise even though you're not speaking. I can hear what's going on in there, okay? So, we're going to do that again on the other side. We're all going to smile, aren't we? So, we're going to bring our feet together and our legs together. Back to Tadasana. Remember, lift, knees lifted. Tailbone tuck. Now we're doing Tadasana first. Mountain. Heart is lifted. Belly in. Ribs in. And then we're going to swoop the arms up. Bend the knees. Legs together. Arms come up. Lift your gaze. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Chair. Utkatasana. So we use the Sanskrit names in yoga because you could maybe do a yoga class on your holidays when you go to Portugal and Spain and France this year. And then perhaps, maybe, hopefully, the teacher will be speaking in Sanskrit, not in French, Italian, whatever. And you'll be able to go, oh, I know what that is. Okay? Because I know you'll all be going to yoga class on your holidays, won't you? Yep, absolutely. Okay, so everywhere in the world, hopefully if the yoga teacher's doing it right, they'll say it in Sanskrit and then you'll be able to go, I know what that is. Chair, my favourite. Okay. So now we're going to take the hands to the waist, stop talking in order, over to the right, slide the left foot back to your 4 foot distance behind, then lift the torso up. Option here again is to widen your stance, but we want to start with that back leg straight. We really want to work it hard. Now if it's bent, that's okay too, but we're trying our best to straighten that back leg. Before we begin, to dip, and then straighten. Keep that front knee bent. Dip, and straighten. So it's all about balance here too. We need to ground down the 4 corners of the front foot. It's our foundation. It's strong. We want to keep that knee in line with our hip. That front knee isn't bent. In line with our hip, in line with our ankle. Good. I think there's one more maybe. Good. And then come back up to your crescent legs. Sweep the arms up to full crescent. Front knee is bent, back leg is straight, back heel is lifted. 10 toes face the front of your mat. And then we're going to swoop into humble, coming forward with our heart. Now the back heel lowers, and then it lifts without straightening the front leg. Lowers and lifts. Keep going. Fix your gaze at a spot on the floor, beyond the point of your nose, that's your drishti. Breathe in and out through your nose. 2 more. Lower and lift. 1 more. Lower and lift back to your waist. Lift the torso, and then a push off the back foot, step up. Much better, yeah? Much better. So, we're going to step back with the right foot. Come to the front of your mat, feet together, front of your mat. We're going to step back with your right foot, and we're going to pivot, both feet round to the right. Both feet round to the right. So now our feet are roughly 4 feet apart. We're going to keep our toes in line with our heels, so no pinching toes just yet. Okay. Taking our hands behind our head, we're going to fold with the straight spine halfway. Draw the navel in. Now you might be a little less than halfway, that's okay too. We're going to keep those elbows wide as we bend our knees, keep the formation of the nice long spine, and then straighten our legs. 4 corners of the feet present into the mat. As you bend, push the floor away with your feet. Come back up. Keep going. 3, straighten. Try not to lift the torso away from the floor. Stay in your half fold. 2, and straighten. Good, stay in your half fold. Don't lift the torso. And 1, straighten. Good. Now lift the torso back up to straight. Keep the hands behind the head. Turn the heels in. We're going to bend the knees. Wide knee squat. Wide knee squat. This is also called goddess pose. And then we're going to straighten the legs. We're going to bend and straighten. We're going to get these legs super strong. And straighten. 2 more. Bend and straighten. 1 more. Bend and straighten. Good. Release your hands from your head. Bring your hands to your waist. Turn the toes in so they're in line with your heels. Now we're going to do a little test on our balance. We're going to bend the knees. We're going to push off, but not too hard, of this right foot. And straighten the left and lift the right foot away from the floor. Okay? Now, we don't want to tilt over to the left. We want the midline to keep going up towards the ceiling. So draw the navel in, come out of your hips, and then lower, bend, both knees, and lift. Lower, flex the lifted foot, so the toes are going to the side of the studio. And bend, and lift. 2 more. Bend, straighten both legs, straighten, straighten, straighten. Hold it, hold it. Bend, last one. Hold it. Straight. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. And bring it down. Try on the other side. Take the feet out wide. Bend the knees. Now you're going to push off the left foot this time, but don't push too hard because that will set you over to the right. So lengthen, lengthen, lengthen the midline. That's it, Magella. Good. Flex the top foot. Bend both knees evenly, so you're not coming over to the left. Bend them evenly. Push, flex, bend, straighten. Keep going. 3 more. Bend, toes in line with heels, remember. Lift. Bend. Good. Lift. 1 more. And the very last one we're going to hold. Bend. Lift, 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 lift. Crown of the head to the ceiling. Lift, lift, lift. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. and lower. Well done. Shake it out, shake it out. I know more anything down. My balance. So, right there, Siobhan, right there. My balance is a disaster. So guess what? The brain's been told. That's a disaster. That's a disaster. So what's your balance going to do? It's going to get better. Well, for now, because you're telling yourself it's a disaster, it's going to be a disaster. So you have to say, I have the best balance in the world. I am going to balance tonight, the best in this world. But no one is ever going to see balancing like it in her life. Yeah? So it's what to tell yourself. It's going to accumulate, and it's going to eventually get there. But if you keep telling yourself those negative messages, it's never going to happen, okay? So just change it, just even tense it back. Okay, I might be catching it, I'm going to try my best. Yeah? So just keep on just flipping that part of your brain that goes, oh, it's a disaster. Okay? Come to the front of your mat. One last one before we come to the floor. Hip hip hooray. So stand to the front of your mat, step back with your right foot again. We do a lot of this in yoga, stepping forward, stepping back. Now, front knee is bent, we're going to pivot. Right shoulder, right hip, right heel. Okay, so now, have a wee peek. Front knee, it didn't do anything moving. So look to see that your front knee, your left knee is right above your left ankle. Then this back heel will be in line with your front heel, but your back toes are rotated out 45 degrees. The back leg is straight and the front knee is bent. Good. So yoga is all about alignment, and it's trying to correct your alignment. It does take time, and it's trying to become more body aware. So we're going to straighten this front leg. We've got the right positioning of the feet and the legs. We're going to open the arms out shoulder height. We're going to turn the palms just to the side to begin with. We're going to reach the left hand, arm, and the left ribs. So look, my hips didn't move, so I didn't do this. Okay? I moved my ribs and my arm. And then I rotate with both legs straight, rotate round and down over the left leg. Now my right shoulder is stacked above the left shoulder, and my right hip is above the left hip. So I'm not coming forward with this top shoulder or the top hip. Good, so this is called Trikonasana. So we want the bottom hand to the back of it to just rest against the shin, and we want the bottom hand to be right underneath the top hand. So one long line, lovely formation. Good. Both legs are straight. So to do that, you need to lift both knees, squeeze the thighs like crazy, because they're doing all the work, and the ribs, you're getting space. So if you think about, what do you call it there, cement mixer? So the cement mixer is rotating. So the top ribs are rotating back, the bottom ribs are rotating forward, okay? Trikonasana is not easy, it's really hard, you have to work like crazy. One more breath, inhale. And on the exhale, think into your right ribs to rotate back up to standing. We're going to pivot on the toes, straight into the other side. Left toes, and then the right toes, round to the back. We're going to watch the back now. The right arm and the right ribs are reaching to the back of the room. Both legs are straight, and then the right shoulder rotates round and down over the right leg. The left arm comes up to the ceiling, bottom arm is directly underneath. Both legs are straight. Draw the navel in, tuck in the tailbone. Look down, have a quick look down, make sure your right toes are facing the back of your mat. Your right toes are facing the back of your mat. Good. Both legs are straight. Good. Very, very that's it. One more breath. Yoga teachers don't know how to count. And slowly, from there, roll all the way up to standing. Good. Rotate your heel in, or your right toes in, and then rotate your left toes. Lean into the front knee, bend, and step up with your back foot to the front of your mat. Good. Trikonasana. Now we're going to come down to the floor, grab your foam block, and we're going to sit our bums onto the foam block. Janu Shavasana, forward fold over one leg. Take your hands underneath your right knee, bring your right heel up towards your sit bones. Place both hands on your shins to bring your heel even closer towards you. So option here, when I open the knee to the right, you might find, oh, that's too hard, okay? So you can bring your sole of your foot to your calf, or if you feel okay, bring the sole of the foot to the inner right, left thigh. The knee goes out to the right, and the left leg is straight. But if it's too much with the left leg straight, you can bend the knee. Okay, keep the foot flexed actually, so the heel is into the floor. Okay, so if the leg is bent, you flex the foot. If the leg is straight, you flex the foot. So everybody check their left toes and make sure your left toes are pointed up towards the ceiling. Good. You're sitting on the very edge, the knee is open to the right. Knee is open to the right. Yeah. Open the knee to the right. That's it. So the sole of the foot goes to the inner thigh, or the sole of the foot goes to the calf. Good. You're sitting on the very edge of your block, and that is elevating your pelvis away from the floor to help straighten your pelvis so that you're sitting nice and tall. So essentially you don't want this rightness up the spine. Sit up nice and tall, flex your left foot, and then bring your hands either side of your hips. Think of your heart, okay? Imagine somebody has tied a rope around your heart, and then they start pulling on that rope so that your heart is going to come forward over your left leg. Keeping it square. Doesn't matter how far forward you go. Try not to use your hands. Try to use your center. Draw the navel in. So you're just lightly touching the floor with your hands and you're coming forward with your heart. So it's a nice long spine and your right knee is opening to the right. You keep your hips square, but it's really important that left foot to stay flexed, because essentially what we're doing after standing poses is all about strengthening, and the seated poses is now all about stretching. So we're stretching those muscles that we've strengthened when we were standing. So you can only do that by keeping the leg active by flexing the foot. Toes to the ceiling, toes to the ceiling. Yes. One more breath. Inhale. And on the exhale, slowly sit back upright. Good. You can take your hand behind your knee, guide your knee back up to the ceiling, extend the right leg away, and then change sides. Take the left knee up, place both hands onto the shin to squeeze it all the way up, and then slowly open the left knee out to the left, placing the sole of the foot on the inner thigh or to the calf if you can't reach the thigh. Ensure your hips are nice and square. Take your hands out to the sides, just onto pronged fingers. Think of the rope attached to your heart, and then somebody's pulling on the rope, bringing your heart forward. Doesn't matter how far forward. Your gaze, your drishti, is your right big toe. It's flexed so that your toes are in line with your knee, in line with your hip. Your drishti is your right big toe. Try not to lift the chin. Crown of the head in line with your tailbone. Draw the navel in. Shoulders back, shoulders back, shoulders back. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Heart, heart, heart forward. That's it, Siobhan. Lovely. Beautiful. One more breath. Inhale. And on the exhale, start to straighten up the torso. Extend the left leg away. Left leg away. Or bring it back up and extend it away, sorry. And then take your hands behind your hips and just give your legs a little shake. Okay. We're going to add a little twist here. So again, take the hands underneath the right knee, take the right knee up, close as it can go towards your sit bones, and then take the right foot over the left. We're going to activate that left foot by flexing and holding onto the shin as we sit up nice and tall. Now, if we can't get the whole of the foot over the leg, that's okay. Just unravel it, don't take it across, okay? Sit up nice and tall. The left hand is going to place it on the outside edge of your right knee. So the left hand comes across to the outside edge. The right hand comes behind the right hip, just onto your fingertips. We call them domed hands. And then we're going to sit up nice and tall. Shoulders are square on the inhale. And on the exhale, we're going to rotate round to our right. So round this direction, round to the right. Good. Now, that left hand that's holding onto the knee, gently, and I mean gently, try and bring that knee in towards your body. Good. Inhale, lengthen the spine. And on the exhale, try and rotate even a little incremental millimeter further round to the right. Good. People like to call this a detoxifier. I don't know about that, but it certainly does wring out your spine. Keep the bottom foot flexed. Bottom foot flexed. Good. Inhale as you lengthen. Exhale, rotate even more round to your right. One more breath. Inhale. And on the exhale, keep the legs where they are. You're going to rotate the torso, rotate the head, rotate the torso. Good, good. So you're back to center. And then take the right leg over the left, back, extend it away. Take the other side. The left knee comes up. Hug the heel in as close as it can go. Now place the left foot over the right leg. Right foot is flexed, toes to the ceiling. Toes to the ceiling. That's it, good. Now, you're going to take the opposite hand. So the right hand comes across to the outside edge of the left knee. The left hand goes behind the left hip. Sit up nice and tall. Heart is lifted, shoulders square. Inhale, lengthen. And on the exhale, rotate. Right to the left this time. Keep that length in your spine as you inhale. Don't rotate forward. And then on the exhale, see if you can rotate even more. So you're wringing out the spine, wringing out your organs. So what it does do, it frees up dead blood or, stale blood, stale air, and it's starting to get it all jigged up again. So it's really good, particularly after the class, doing these twists, is to drink a lot of water. Not too much, you can pee during the night, but just to continue with the flushing, yeah? To flush it out a wee bit more after, so no drinking gin and tonic after class. Or whatever's your tip on. One more breath, inhale. And on the exhale, rotate your head, rotate your torso if they're coming for class or slightly late. And then unravel the leg. That's it. Extend the leg all the way out. Take your hands behind, give them a little shake. Good. Sitting on the edge of your block once more. Feet flexed, toes to the ceiling. Sitting up nice and tall, heart forward. Hands either side onto the floor. Lift your heart up on the inhale. And on the exhale, bring your heart forward. Paschimottanasana, forward, seated forward fold. Good. Feet flex, legs together. Feet flex, legs together. Good. Sitting up nice and tall, the heart is being pulled and you're coming forward, forward, forward. Good. Feet flex, feet flex. So you're pressing the backs of the legs into the mat. That's it, Laura. Good. Shoulders away from the ears. Try not to hug. Good morning. Breathe. So what we're doing here is we're stretching the hamstrings, stretching the connective tissue to the backs of the knees and the calves, and eventually we will be wrapping our fingers around our toes, lifting the heart, and then melting all the way down. Eventually. If you want to try, if anybody can reach the toes, wrap your fingers around. That's it, your two big toes. You pull on your toes as you lift your heart away with a nice long spine on the inhale. And on the exhale, you melt. Good. Good more. Keep breathing. Keep the toes in line with the knees, in line with the hips. One more breath, inhale. And on the exhale, lift the heart. And then release, coming upright. Hands behind. One last shake. Shake. Good. Place it here. Relaxation time. So if you want to grab your jumpers, whatever you need to find your happy place. Don't worry about putting all the props away just yet. You can just grab your jumpers, blankets, socks, whatever you need to stay warm. If anybody wants to grab a bolster, yes, feel free to grab a bolster, place it underneath your knees. Anybody has any issues with the lower back? Yeah, we can. Okay. Also, we've got chairs that you can place your calves onto your chairs. You're going to lie back and down, and I'm going to place this underneath your knees. Just so that your legs stay a little bit elevated, and then I'm going to get a wee block we have on there. That's it. So the backs of your knees should be on the bolster. Good. That's it. How's that feel? Good. So Shavasana. We want the arms by our sides, hands rotated up to the ceiling, and this will ever so slightly lift your heart and relax your shoulders back and down. I'll invite you to close your eyes. And just like you did at the child's pose at the start of the class, Surrender and focus on your breath. Flowing back again in through the nose and out through the nose. Just checking into how you feel. Working all the different parts of your body. From your very toes all the way to the crown of your head. Any tension that you're still perhaps holding on to. With your breath, just tell yourself, let go. Softening your whole body. And if you can imagine yourself melting into the floor. Melting into the earth. Giving yourself permission to relax. Take your awareness to the back of your head. Relax the back of your head. Crown of your head, sides of your head, forehead. Relax your frown lines, your eyebrow center, eyelids and eyes, nose, nostrils, cheeks, ears, lips. Unclench your teeth and remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Relax your jaw and your cheeks and your chin, throat and neck. Relax your collarbones, your chest, your beating heart. Your front ribs, side ribs, back ribs, torso, belly, belly button, hips, pelvis, thighs, knees, shins, ankles, tops of your feet, big toes, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, fifth toe, soles of your feet, heels, your calves, backs of knees, hamstrings, buttocks, lower back, middle back, upper back. Relax your shoulders, your armpits, your upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists. Relax the heel of your hands, thumbs, forefingers, middle finger, ring finger, little finger, back of your hands and the palms of your hands. Both arms, both legs, torso, head, muscles, ligaments, tendons, organs. Every cell replenishing, renewing. Every fiber of your being completely relaxed. In to go beyond, into the vast realm of your body. Inflate each cell with your kind attention. Enter your molecules, weave them together with kite string and tie the end to your heart. Become whole again. Enter the gateway of wholeness. The body and the soul are good friends. One is never far from the other. Go in to go beyond. When we stop striving and see our completeness, the world stops. Even the air rests like a blanket on our skin. We become still life. Chaos contained in a frame. God's joyous laughter on a tape deck. Go in to go beyond. Shine through the stained glass of Mother Mary. Say grace and become grace. Enter the tunnel of your heart to become the light on the other side. awareness to your breath. Expansion as you inhale, filling up your lungs. And contraction as you exhale, release and let go. Begin to notice the parts of your body connected to your mat and to the floor, the space your body takes up on your mat and within the studio, your surroundings, and notice your neighbours. Become aware of sounds, tuning into the intricate sounds. And then take your awareness to your hands, your fingers, your feet and your toes. Slowly wiggling up our bodies. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. And then relax. Relax our hands and relax our feet. And bring your awareness to the tummy. Draw your navel in a little. And in your own time, slide your feet one at a time up towards your sit bones or on top of a bolster. Take a moment here just to allow your spine to adjust. And when you're ready, take your knees into your chest, holding on to the tops of your knees, lengthen your spine, and rock your body from side to side. Come to center, and with your eyes closed, squeeze your knees even more into your chest, and lift your head up. With your eyes closed, bring in your nose to your knees to your nose. Take a breath in, and on the exhale, lower your head and shoulders back down. Reach your right arm up and over your head. Roll over with your eyes closed onto your right side. Place in your left hand on the floor in front of your heart. Stay for a breath in fetal position. And with your eyes closed, we're going to push the floor away with your left hand, feeling your way up into a seated cross-leg or leg straight position. Sitting up nice and tall with our spines. And bringing your hands together. I'm going to rub the hands for heat. And place your warm hands over your eyes. Now open your eyes behind your hands. Squeeze them shut, open. Squeeze them shut, open. Look up, look down, look to the right, to the left. Rotate clockwise, anti-clockwise. And then slowly, with your eyes closed, bring your hands together right in front of your heart. And take a moment and think of a positive affirmation. And we call this in yoga a sankalpa. And repeat it to yourself. And then perhaps you know someone within your family, friends, that needs to hear that. So you're going to repeat it again for them. And then repeat it once more for everyone else. And then inhale, lift your heart. And keeping your heart lifted, bow your chin into your chest. Turn the corners of your mouth up to your eyes. Flutter your eyelids open.